Who's been around longer, Canadian arm wrestling or USA arm wrestling?
Oh, I don't know if I'm the right one to answer that.
I think that's controversial too.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks the godfather of the sport comes from Canada, being John Miazdzyk. So if that has any bearing, I would say that it comes from Canada.
Okay, my name is Tony Singer. I've been polling since 1977, polling every year since, so you can do the math on that. And I got into it because of a man by the name of John Miazdzyk. And he's pretty well the reason I'm here today and why everybody here is today. He started the Canadian competition. Then he was the first one to actually put on a world's competition where he had other countries come over, India that he got over, Brazil, and England, I believe. And that was really something, unique and unusual to have these come over.
He actually mortgaged his house to make sure that the nationals went over without any screw-ups. How many arm wrestlers or promoters have ever done that?
Back then, before the days of the internet, how did you contact other countries? How did you know there's arm wrestling in other countries?
Well, you'd had to know John. He knew everybody in the sport. He was a fanatic. He would do anything to get a hold of them.
I think the Americans probably say something else, right?
Yeah, I would like to hear
but
the
they do
answer.
have the John Miazdzyk Award.
Yeah.
And at the Worlds, all the Worlds, 42 countries recognize John Miazdzyk Award.
He was a promoter 100% of the time. And he wasn't arrogant about his ways, but he could get people to listen. And we travel a lot with him. He'd get the whole plane interested in arm wrestling. He was just that type of character.
There's a reason why there's an award based on him. It's because there's no one else who's ever put that much forward to make the sport grow. If it wasn't for him mortgaging his house, you know what? We probably wouldn't be here right now because it would just be another event that no one sees.
So he's responsible for arm wrestling in Canada?
Initially, no. I would say the guy that first started the arm wrestling in Canada he's here today. His name is Keith Koenig.
Really?
Right. And John got a hold of him.
Yeah, I guess I got it as a sport. I was the first one that got it started in Canada.
So how did that happen? What did you do?
Well, actually, to be honest with you, I just always dreamt of going to Petaluma, California, and I went down there in the early 70s. And when I came back to Canada, there was no organized sport in Canada in arm wrestling, so I got it started back in 1975.
So you met Dave DeVoto back then?
Oh, yes, I knew Dave DeVoto, Bill Sobranis, that's right.
So when you went back to Canada, what did you do? How'd you get it? Arm wrestling?
Well, I'd never been beaten in Canada, so I figured, well, I got to go someplace to see if I can be beat. So I went down to Petaluma, California, and I found out I could be beat. Well, I went to the sports committee in my local community, and I went to the government. There was nothing involved in the arm wrestling sport at all, and so at that time we called it wrist wrestling because of Petaluma. And so I organized it and set up a committee and set up a board and organized the sport. And we held the first Canadian Championships in 1976 is the first year we held it.
You know, they were butting heads for a while because they more or less two associations. Finally, they did get together, but all in all, John prevailed and got the Worlds and got one up on Keith, and then they joined forces and went that way.
When we hit 1993, we decided we're going to put everything together. We set up provinces, and we made sure that each province had their shirts, made sure that each province was competing at the national championships at a national level. So we wanted to make sure that unity was there because we knew if we were going to ever get the sport into the Olympics, that had to be unified within the country. And so we had that realization, and everybody came together and gelled real well, and we realized it was for the betterment of the sport.
Year's recipient for the John Miazdzyk trophy is none other than Mr. Ryan Espey.
Was it worth it? Hey? Hey? He pulled his hair up his beard. Ryan, hope you better look for a moment.
tell everybody here how much this really means to me. It's more than any title I could ever win. And I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for coming to this tournament and awarding me this.